He's from Renegade Activists. He was also part of a group of people who was involved in defending and extending Medicare quite a few years ago. So please welcome up Jacob.
Quite a few years ago. Hi people! Look, as Kathy said, what we're seeing here isn't new. Back in 2003, Tony Abbott's mentor, John Howard, tried to rig $2.5 billion from Medicare. He attacked it just like Abbott's attacking it today, and we stopped him. At the time, in 2003, who was Health Minister? Anyone remember? Tony Abbott. Tony Abbott was Health Minister. It is the same agenda we saw 11 years ago. At the time, I was part of a mob called Defend and Defend Medicare with Pamela Kerr and Joe Toscado and Steve Jolly and a few others. And it's an interesting what happened. Tony Abbott got private investigators and security police and all kinds of people to run dossiers on all of us who were running the Defend and Extend Medicare campaign.
Shame on you, asbestos, Abbott!
He then leaked a report to the Herald scum that wrote an article about those of us who were working on it. They called the article The Shadowy Men in Black, with apologies to Pamela Kerr. Let me just read you a couple of snippets from it. It started off, anarchists and extreme socialists are hijacking the health debate, a confidential government report reveals. Several of the organisers are well known to us as serial activists with connections to anarchist groups and socialist organisations.
Propaganda!
Tony Abbott said, it's not fair. Can you believe Tony Abbott saying anything is not fair? Can you believe the prick who's put his daughter through a 60,000 scholarship from his mate while he's cut education of everyone else and saying something is not fair? It is not fair to say you are interested in an issue if you are interested in the issue as part of a broader agenda, which you don't disclose. It's like the mafia saying we're members of the community and we are interested in protecting people, and why can't we campaign against police prosecution or police harassment? This is Tony Abbott and the Liberal Party talking about me, talking about us, because we're all in it together as if we were the mafia. You were there in 2003, I remember you. This is what their agenda is. They're to drive a wedge through the community. They're about scaring the community against people like us saying we've got a hidden agenda.
I won't ask him.
They go on to point out some of mine and Steve's and Joe's other things. That's not worth reading. But Tony Abbott reckons we've got a hidden agenda. Well, I've got news for Tony. It's not bloody hidden, mate. My agenda, our agenda, does go beyond healthcare. I think I speak for all of us. I definitely think I speak for the rest of the people who outed, who said, in saying, we don't want an Australia where we have free and universal access to health, but Indigenous people have still got a life expectancy less than 3/4 of mine. We don't want an Australia where health and drugs are free, but we're still sending people to concentration camps in Papua New Guinea to be killed by government contractors. We don't want an Australia where we just have universal access to health care, but the workers, the unions, are having ever more extreme laws brought against them to stop them supporting their members. We don't want an Australia where I can go to the doctor, but every trip will be tabulated, every trip will be on camera, will be spied upon. We don't want an Australia where those of us who are not part of Tony Abbott's 1% peer group are only seen as a problem, to be spied upon, to be harassed, to be exercised, limberised, expurgated, stamped and bloody sedated. Our agenda is bigger, Tony, and it's no secret. I don't want in Australia when my 14-year-old son gets free asthma medication, but his 16-year-old sister can't get into uni because I don't have a mate to give her a scholarship. I want an Australia with a bigger agenda, and that bigger agenda is a fair and equitable Australia. There are no hidden agendas. But if we are going to talk about hidden agendas, if Tony is interested in the shadowy men in black and talking about hidden agendas, we need look no further than the Liberal Party, because their agenda was hidden before the election. They lied to us. They didn't tell us that their agenda had already been written by the Institute of Public Affairs. They didn't tell us that the only reason so many people voted for him was because the press, who are their mates, the people who own the media, are on their side. They didn't tell us his agenda was to bring in not only a US-style medical system, but a US-style education system as well. That is the hidden agenda, and we want to disabuse him of them. There are no anarchist plots to overthrow the government. There are no gay, disabled, black Muslim terrorists taking fleets of fishing boats to come and invade northern Australia. There are no black fellas waiting to put a native title claim on his family home in Narrabeen. His agenda is hidden, ours is open. It is bigger than that, because we understand that you can't separate education. You cannot separate human rights from health. We know that at the heart of every just cause is the cause of justice, and that's our agenda, and let's take it to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Okay, Ron, and it's come up, and then we are going to march. We're going to march and we're going to stop at Church Street.